Welcome back to another action figure obsession video. It's me, your old pal Avian and Loaded, and I've been thinking about my factions this morning, trying to get them into a display, maybe a big shelf with all of them. You know, I got my Tracksuit Mafia guys over here, and my Mad Scientist faction here, and where's the Gray Agency over there, kind of spread out over here, the gray suited guys. Um, and then, there's some other smaller factions, both on the work table and in my displays that could also be reassigned to a special faction shelf. When I first got these Tracksuit Mafia figures, they were Target exclusive. I think they were $32, I think, at the time, maybe 35 with tax, something along those lines. It was pretty egregious. I think I bought 3 to begin with, and then I bought another 3, and eventually, at one point I had 10, but then I had a action figure buddy that I was trading with through the mail, and he was all bummed out that he'd never been able to find one, so I put one together, with all the accessories and everything, and the 3 heads that these figures came with, and sent that off to him, and he was grateful. That was nice. It made me feel good, and it doesn't really hurt me. Despite being obsessed, it doesn't really hurt me to have only 9 instead of 10. In fact, I kind of prefer odd numbers to even numbers when it comes with having squads or factions. So in the front here, we have Kazi. These are all, by the way, from the Hawkeye Disney Plus TV show, in case you didn't see that. And they were inspired by that Matt Fraction written Hawkeye / Hawk Guy Marvel Comics series, where they were called the Tracksuit Draculas. They were Tracksuit Mafia on the Hawkeye TV show, and Kazi is one of the leaders, and Tomas. And I will say, of the two, Hasbro did a lot better bringing Kazi's face to life than Tomas. Tomas, to me, looks like a distinguished English professor who just got tenure. This head sculpt, whereas Kazi does actually have that sort of befuddled Jon Snow look that the guy on Hawkeye had. This guy was a little pudgier and a little more Jesse Pinkman looking on the show. But these are the only 2 unmasked heads that came with the Tracksuit Mafia. They all came with a Kazi head, a Tomas head, and the Balaclava head. And the Balaclava head is really kind of... the Tracksuit Mafia figures just in general are disappointing because they're MCU figures, which means that they're at MCU scale. And by now, you know where this is going. Let's just grab a typical heroic scale comic Marvel legend, and you can see that the Tracksuit Mafia do not stand up to comparisons with the comic guys. Back over here, no mass casualty events today, please. I can't handle it. Had a couple just trying to get these guys out of the display, but anyway, so real quick here, because I am on a schedule. The MCU Hasbro Marvel Legends Tracksuit Mafia. The Balaclava head is small even for this body, in my opinion. It's a little pinheady, so it's almost useless for transplanting to any comic style Marvel Legend, because the head is just it looks too small. The only really successful other use of this head that I've seen is to put it on the Jimmy Woo MCU figure. It kind of makes that figure look like maybe he's holding up a bank or something. You put one of the sort of melee weapons that came with these guys in his hands. I did have these guys with all my, relatively expensive Valaverse shotguns and melee weapons. I've just stripped them all of those, because I don't think these figures are enough fun or look impressive enough on the shelf and also their hands don't really manipulate well with because they're those smaller hands. One of them is a trigger finger hand. One is the utterly useless sort of holding hand, like to just hold the other end of the bat or whatever. But they don't have any butterfly joints, so their arms are limited in their articulation. They just have the stupid waist swivel. They're just not impressive. They're just really not impressive, and it's too bad. They were highly sought after for a while. And weirdly, almost paradoxically, they also ended up at Ollie's. I'd be curious if anybody watching this does have a squad of these guys. Do you love them? Are you obsessed with them? I mean, they were a lot of fun on the show. And my original thought when I bought a little dust on this guy's head here. When I bought the ones that I did, my original thought was that they could be in my G.I. Joe Classified collection as kind of the thug squadron for the Crimson Twins and that whole sort of Crimson faction with Tomax and Zaymot and the Crimson Baroness and all those guys. I even have a Deadpool in with those guys because the movie Deadpool, the Legacy Collection movie Deadpool, his particular shade of red on his costume matches the Crimson Strike Force or Crimson Strike Team, whatever it was, the Tomax, Zaymot, and the Baroness in red. And I thought it would be fun to have, Deadpool fighting alongside Cobra. I have a whole bunch of those Legacy Collection Deadpools because I found them real cheap on clearance at Target. The Wolverines and the Deadpools Legacy Collection ones that were reissues of the like the Fox version, or was it Fox? Yeah, it was Fox. So I'm always looking for something to do with some of my movie Deadpools from the Legacy Collection. But that was a digression. But yeah, the reason why I went in kind of all in on the Tracksuit Mafia is because I thought maybe they would go well with my G.I. Joe Classified collection, but those shelves are bursting. It would take a major rearrangement to make that work, I think. But I mean, in the background as generic thugs, the balaclava head guys work okay. I gave, whoops, there we go. It's very early and I am super undercaffeinated. Sorry, everybody. I did give them some of the melee weapons that came with the Tracksuit Mafia. I think this is is it a Mossberg shotgun that came with the Tracksuit Mafia, and I think this is the one. It's the same mold, this one, but it came with Jigsaw, the Walgreens exclusive Jigsaw, the Punisher's enemy, and then this baseball bat. I think that came originally with the Punisher, the Ultimate Rider's Punisher, I think. This gray baseball bat, that may have come with dark gray. That one may have come with Jigsaw. I believe this machete came with Jigsaw. The Tracksuit Mafia and Jigsaw definitely share a lot of weapons. This is the sadly colored. It's supposed to be like a wood tone or wood grain. There's no grain at all. It wouldn't, if they had just sculpted a little bit of grain into wood grain into this thing, they would have pulled it off. But as it is, it just kind of looks like an oversized marital aid of some kind. That particular baseball bat, and then here's another machete. This is the one with the brown, sort of milk chocolate brown handle. That might be the one the Tracksuit Mafia came with, I think. This one is another aluminum bat. I think that one is actually from Mezco. It's a little bit slimmer, but it's also a lot more impressive looking in hand. And then another Jigsaw machete just to fill out the rank. So I've decided that Tomas and Kazi are the only ones that get to have firearms. And I do have most of the rest of the accessories in my, where is it? My giant bag of Tracksuit Mafia accessories, because you get all the accessories with each figure, and I've got 9 figures here, so lots of hands, lots of machetes, lots of baseball bats, lots of the mini shotguns. I think I distributed to some other characters as well, because those are pretty useful. Yeah, just lots of Tracksuit Mafia stuff in there. And I did think about just writing bro on the label. But, when you reach a certain age, you're like, well, when they find me no longer respirating, you know, somebody's going to want to know what this stuff is and if it's worth keeping or selling or what the hell to do with it. So I'm trying to leave a good trail of evidence so people can figure out what's in this toy room when the time comes. Hopefully not for a while. But yeah, so I'm thinking about my factions. I'm thinking about maybe doing an update. I did have a lot of these guys together on a shelf at one time, and I'm kind of looking at recharging my displays and kind of reinvigorating things. Do you army build guys like this? There's some pretty good army builders in the Marvel Legends line. The AIM Soldier, the Hydra Soldier. Um, and there's other characters like Paladin that if you just choose to, you can make them army builders. Those could be just generic sort of corporate, goons or whatever. Are you army building anybody? Any characters? Let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, so you'll be notified whenever I update future action figure obsession videos. Feel free to hit the notification bell to make sure that you tell YouTube that you want to know anytime anything new goes up. And please feel free to share the video if you have friends who are action figure collectors, and maybe they're looking to build out their army of bad guys to fight with Daredevil or the G.I. Joes or Spider-Man or whoever. These are pretty good street level thugs. They're not spectacular action figures, but they do make a good little display on the shelf. I think when I do finally get them back onto a shelf, it's going to be Kazi and Tomas in the front, and then the balaclava guys in the back, because again, that balaclava head is not terribly impressive. I wish they had done a slightly bigger one. I tried it on the Man Without Fear Daredevil, the all black sort of tracksuit Matt Murdock. I put this head on that, and it just looks comical. It's like that whole Beetlejuice effect with the tiny little head. Very, very sad. So these are useful figures, the Tracksuit Mafia, but they are far from perfect. And it would really be great if we got like a comic version at the comic, the heroic comic book scale that they use for the comic Marvel Legends. That would be awesome, maybe with like a nice ball jointed lower torso and better weapons, better hands, better head sculpts. There's a lot of things they could do to improve these guys, and I'm sure that would be a big hit if they did it. So they probably won't, because Hasbro always gonna Hasbro. So thanks for stopping by this edition of Action Figure Obsession, and I will see you on the next one.